forward to that tour of that truck.
Yeah, that looks pretty
big wheels.
Big.
Right? Thanks for joining us at 6 a.m. here on this Monday. Hope you had a nice weekend, everyone. I'm Eric Connard.
And I'm Netta Iranpour. A nice cooler weekend, making you think the seasons have changed, but oh no. Let's check in with Evan Arati and see what's going on this week.
Just when we could get used to this weather.
That's the thing. I mean, I can't tell. I loved it because it cooled us down, but it frustrates me because I wanted it to be prolonged and last a bit longer. No, we have warmer temperatures back in place starting today, really. You already see our inland valleys in the 90s this afternoon, along with our mountains. Deserts could be peaking right around 100 degrees, and coastal communities remain a very comfortable place to be in the mid-70s. Out the door right now, this is what it looks like. We have been watching for a bit of fog, so we'll keep tabs on that, but right now it doesn't seem like it's a huge issue affecting downtown San Diego or Mission Bay, Mission Beach area. Sunrise, still about 30 minutes out. We're waiting a bit, and those temperatures overnight mild closer to our inland valleys and our mountains, a little bit warmer toward the coastline. Coming up, we'll be talking more about the warm up in the forecast this week, but in the meantime, let's send things over to Vanessa Paz, checking in on traffic.
Good morning and happy Monday. Hope everyone had a beautiful weekend. I actually had to use my heater, Evan, for the first time this morning in the car, and I noticed that. I was like, wow, this is the first time I've used it so far this season. 6:02 is the time. Let's go ahead and give you a live look outside. This is the 5 in both directions. We still have that night vision on some of our cams, including this one. This is on the 5 in both directions right at E Street. Pretty smooth sailing as of last check as you make your way up towards National City and from Chula Vista. Look out for this, a breakdown on the 5 South at Cesar Chavez, not causing too much slowing though. In fact, we're on the green for most of our major routes headed out the door this morning. Coming up in about 7-9 minutes or so, we'll talk about what your Monday travel times have in store. That's all ahead. Back to you guys.
Vanessa, thank you for that. And now later this afternoon, San Diego City Council members set to consider a controversial proposal.
Yeah, we're talking about parking fees around Balboa Park. CBS 8's Regina Yarita joined us live from Balboa Park with reaction to all of this here. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. There's going to be a lot to unpack during this meeting as the San Diego City Council will discuss whether to implement parking fees at Balboa Park. Now, the city had previously announced that they would consider charging $2.50 per hour for parking with a daily rate of $12. There is a discounted rate of $6 for city residents, but that wouldn't take effect until next year. The plan, which features a tiered parking system, also includes 2 hours of free parking at Inspiration Point. The city is also exploring expanding its tram routes throughout the park. So council introduced the ordinance as a way to address a growing budget deficit. The parking fees are expected to generate an estimated $11 million, which has already been factored into the current city budget. On top of this discussion, council is also expected to vote on a proposed ordinance to establish metered parking in a portion of Balboa Park. The item is a second reading of the ordinance passed by the council in July to allow for on-street parking meters near the park. There's been a strong opposition for the proposed ordinances. Residents who rely on the park, including a large number of seniors on fixed income, say this paid parking will become a burden, adding that they won't be able to afford it. There's also instructors who provide performing arts classes at Balboa Park, and they say having clients pay for parking every day would become more expensive than paying for their classes.
The city is treating Balboa Park as a revenue source, but the real cost is going to be to the access, equity, and community of Balboa Park and its surrounding neighborhoods. Please don't move forward with this measure, or at the very least, work to minimize the financial impact it will have on residents across the county.
So there will be a larger discussion around 2 p.m. this afternoon. We'll be monitoring that meeting closely, and we'll be bringing you the latest details. For now, I'm Regina Urita, CBS 8.
Hi, Regina. Thanks for that. State officials set to be here in San Diego today to talk with people whose homes were destroyed by last year's January floods.
CBS 8's Chris Grow live downtown with details on this meeting taking place that people can attend. People still impacted by this, Chris?
Yeah, still very much impacted by this. People still not able to go back to their homes or still dealing with the damage that these floods brought. So that's what these state officials representing different programs that people can access will be here to do, to inform them, to try to see what it is that they can do to help folks who are still, again, suffering from those floods that took place in last January. So this is also coming at a time in which we saw this summer San Diego's recovery efforts were criticized in an audit, being called inadequate, citing poor long-term planning and communication issues. So this is going to be a bit of a again, helping hand here that the state will be throwing out. There's 2 programs that they're going to be discussing to help these families rebuild. First, the Single Family Rehabilitation and Reconstruction Program, which is a non-repayable grant to help those with damaged homes. And then second, there's a home buyer assistance program that will provide forgivable down payment loans for eligible applicants. So this is all going to be happening at the Mountain View YMCA. This will be taking place at 5:30 p.m. today. So remember, this is something for these residents in Mountain View. And we have even heard and have seen in a series of follow-ups that people are still not made whole yet after this. And so the idea is hopefully this will get them one step closer to being able to be made whole. Eric and Netta?
All right, Chris, thanks for that. Starting today, the San Diego Public Library system is changing its Monday hours. Just 17 branches out of 37 locations will be open on Mondays from 11:30 a.m. to 8 p.m. This comes after revisions to the city budget, which restored some Monday hours but closed all city libraries on Sundays. Be sure to check with your local branch to see if they are open on Mondays.
Hispanic Heritage Month kicks off today as Latin American countries, including Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, celebrate their Independence Day. Tomorrow is Mexico's Independence Day, but there were early celebrations in Chula Vista yesterday. Take a look. Now in Mexico, celebrating the night of the 15th, that would be today, with El Grito. It's a tribute to the cry for independence made by Father Miguel Hidalgo in 1810. Tijuana is hosting a celebration tonight. So yeah, thankfully, sounds like weather will cooperate. All these people came out over the weekend to celebrate. It's great to see that turnout.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think that the evening hours are the best time to get outside, just because afternoons now are going to be a little bit warmer, especially going into this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon. The weekend we just wrapped up was fabulous, especially out by the coastline, but we started to see a little bit of that warming yesterday. Today is going to be even warmer than both Saturday and Sunday, and then Tuesday, tomorrow, is where we reach our peak. Early morning hours, evening hours, great times to get outside and enjoy 60s, in some cases 50s out there. Satellite radar showing there's a good amount of cloud cover. Like we talked about, there's not much of an issue related to fog, but one spot we are watching for that is Ramona. That's where we're at about half a mile of visibility. Aside from that, we're not looking too bad. That's not to say we don't have any clouds out there, just that we don't have those clouds too low down to the ground along the coast and toward many of our inland valleys. Let's look at Santee and El Cajon this afternoon. 88 degrees on that afternoon high, 84 for La Mesa. You get cooler as you head toward the coastline, all the way down to 69 degrees, almost a 20-degree difference from La Jolla versus Santee this afternoon. Get up to North County, Oceanside 77, Fallbrook 86, RB looking at a high of 85, and out in Ramona, making it into the 90s this afternoon with a high of 92 degrees. On today's forecast for your mountains and deserts, we're staying warm for the mountains. Upper 70s and low 80s, though. There are going to be a couple spots that could hit toward 90 degrees. Campo, Alpine, for example. And then the deserts right on the cusp of triple-digit heat. Take a look at the inland 5-day, a bit of an up and down. Today through tomorrow, we're warming up. Tomorrow expected to be the warmest day of the week. And then temperatures are back down to about average through the remainder of it. Let's send things over to Vanessa's Paz. She's checking in on how traffic is looking.
Hey, so far so good. Let's go ahead and start things off with the live look outside. This is the 5 in both directions right at Genesee. It looks like things are flowing fairly nice at last check. As we go ahead and switch gears, this is what it looks like on the 5 in both directions right at East Street. And that's the drive as you make your way towards National City coming in from Chula Vista. Look out for a breakdown, and this is on the 5 right at Cesar Chavez. It's not plugging things up, though. In fact, we're still at full freeway speeds in both directions as you get up this morning. This one just came in. We have a crash on the 15 in both directions right at Adams, and that may slow things down for you as you make your way through the Kensington area, headed towards, for example, Mission Valley or the College area towards that 8 split. As we go and zoom on out, we are looking at, for the most part, at full freeway speed. It's still really dark and early. Looks like the freeway is fairly quiet, anywhere between 60, 65 miles per hour or so. And full span of the Coronado Bridge, average speeds about 55 miles per hour. Notice how there's a little bit of slowing once you make your way onto the island, but it looks like on the bridge so far so good. If you're coming in from the North County, headed southbound, both on the 5 and the 15 right now, in from Oceanside as well as Escondido, anywhere between 65, 70 miles per hour or so, and traveling anywhere between the La Mesa and Santee area, headed westbound, both on the 52 as well as the 8. Average speeds anywhere between 65, 70 as well. Travel time still on the green. Always happy to report that drivers behaving behind the wheel anywhere between 5 to 7 minutes to get you westbound this morning coming in from the East County. If you're traveling in from the South Bay, anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes right now in from San Ysidro as well as the Chula Vista area towards Point Loma, and about 5 minutes full span traveling in from downtown towards Coronado. All right, it is 6:11. Let's go ahead and pull up those border wait times for you. A little over an hour, about an hour 20 or so coming in from San Ysidro's port of entry, and about an hour and a half if you're traveling inbound from Otay Mesa this Monday morning.